Hello, Aries. I know it's a new setup. However, it'll work out just fine. All right. I know we've been talking about releasing a whole lot, but I've been doing a whole lot of research, and um everything happens for a reason. That's one thing I can say. And um there's a little shift and a little change with regards to what I've discovered. And that's going to get you into November in a completely different way. And this is your November general read. And don't worry, you'll be cozied up with your boo thing come the holidays. So let's talk. Couple more shuffles, I'll cut, and then we'll begin. All right. So I hope that you guys have been working on your release, because as you've been working on your release, I know a lot of you have been taking spiritual baths. A lot of you have been doing a lot of praying. A lot of you have been doing a lot of soul searching. A lot of you have been doing a lot of watching tarot. A lot of you have, like, you know, somehow, some way, like, things are coming together. Some things are not. But I'm here to give you that missing puzzle piece. But the way that I have to give it is very, how do I say, I have to be cautious with my words. So I know that Spirit will tell me exactly how to convey them, okay? Temperance, the Two of Wands, the Ten of Swords, the King of Swords, Two of Swords, and the Knight of Swords. Oh, Spirit, please help me say this the right way. I know exactly what's happening here. Like, when I look at these cards, it's like a cartoon. It's like a movie playing in front of me. However, I do know that, you know, I have to be very cautious with the way that I interpret these cards and the way that I convey this information. So Aries, a lot of you are in the healing process. A lot of you have released, but the things that you have released are the things that you needed to release. But you're still finding a hard time releasing the person that you walked away from, because the person that you walked away from was doing shit that was like completely unacceptable to you, period. And that's human nature, and that's totally fine. That's, you know, your choice. That's what this card represents, choices, you know? And our choices either come with a consequence or a reward. And I want to let you know that the relationship that you walked away from, you know, this relationship taught you self-discipline. It taught you how to set boundaries, whereas you weren't setting them before when it came to love. It taught you how to not put up with, like, all that fucking, you know, shit talking. You know, trying to talk shit to an Aries is like, you know, asking for fire. And, you know, you also learned how to not deal with betrayal. You know, you learned how to say, I ain't putting up with none of that shit. That's what you learned. So many of you now are looking out into the world and saying, okay, now what do I do? Because I know that the world is my oyster, because I've stepped into my divine femininity, or I've stepped into my divine masculine. And you have to understand that the divine feminine and the divine masculine make a whole. So now you have to decide Who's your other half? You have to decide who your other half is, and you have to listen to your intuition with regards to that. A lot of you are working very hard. You're buried in your work. You know, you're buried in rebuilding yourself, rebuilding, you know, who you are, rebuilding, you know, who you want to be, and rebuilding, you know, yourself, because you had that tower moment, you know, in that last relationship that you were in, you know, and the tower simply represents things tumbling down that were not built on solid ground. And now you're rebuilding. That's what you're doing. You're working on rebuilding, which is wonderful. This card means that something has to end in order for something to begin. And it came on top of this card. So you have to understand that you basically ended all that betrayal so that something new and positive could take its place. And something new and positive is going to take its place. The sun is a major arcana, which represents the highest form of happiness. That's what it's going to be replaced with. And it's going to happen quick. That card represents speed, communication, or travel. Because a lot of you were so tired of being in a situation where you were dealing with unrequited love. You know, you were giving to this person, and this person was just not giving you back what it is that, you know what I'm saying, you deserved. They weren't. And for those of you who had children, they weren't giving to their children what they deserved. And now I can almost guarantee you that the person that you walked away from realizes all of that right now. Because they watching you blow up. They came with lies and half-truths. They came with third-party situations and lied about them. They came with a lot of selfishness. You got tired of it. So you walked away. Which is a logical thing to do when you're dealing with that type of shit. However, this is a light worker card. This is the witch card. If you were to use modern terms, right? Or even further back terms, they would call light workers witches. People who knew how to heal, and people who did not understand how are you able to heal this person. People who knew how to prophesize, and they were like, well, how do you know how to do this? And they would burn these people at the stake. I want to let a lot of you Aries know that you had a witch in the midst that was like trying to sabotage what was going on with you and your beloved. Yeah, I said it. However, this is the Aries card, and you have the authority with regards to how you want this relationship to go. If you still want to go ahead and be like, ixnay on your bullshit, or if you want to go ahead and invoke forgiveness, invoke kindness, and invoke those positive energies that the divine wants you to possess. Okay? I'm going to close you out real quick. These readings aren't going to be very long because I'm going to be giving you your first 2-week readings, and I'm going to be giving you your last 2-week readings. And we'll go from there because I want to see how much of this you guys understand. I want to see how much of this resonates with you. I want to know how much you guys have graduated spiritually with the readings of mine that you've been watching. Okay? Because everything happens for a reason, and you have to understand the whole point of you being in the relationship that you were in with this person was to teach you what not to put up with. It was to teach you how to step into your divine power. It was to teach you how to step into your divine femininity. It was to teach you how to step into your divine masculinity for you males. You're going to get an offer of love. You're going to get an offer of love from someone who deserves you. Someone that you've walked away from in the past, who stole from you in the past, and who knows what they did with regards to your feelings. They stole things from your feelings. But I want you to know they didn't do it alone. They had a little buddy with them that was like tampering in the relationship. And for some of you who feel as though there's got to be more to this, there's like, my intuition is telling me all of this stuff that happened recently is just not making any sense. You know, I have to figure out what's happening here. I have to figure out how this shit got so bad, because things weren't like this before. And then all of a sudden, you know, shit just went haywire. You know what I mean? So a lot of you started doing your research. A lot of you started watching your readings more. A lot of you started doing your thing to try to figure out what's up. So I want to know where a lot of you guys are, to where you guys were able to understand what I just read to you, or what Spirit just relayed to you. Okay? Understand that everything happens for a reason. Everything is in divine timing. And I also want to say that there are about 5 or 6 of you who have booked readings that your email's not working and your phone number is not working. And I've been trying to reach you like crazy. So if you want your reading, you need to email me at tarotreadingsfrombeyond@gmail.com so that you can say, hey, I booked a reading with you, but I haven't heard from you. Well, I need your proper email address and I need your phone number so that I can book your reading. Also, if you feel that you need a reading, so that you want the backdrop on this story, so that you want to know what's up here and what happened here, then I recommend you book your readings, and I recommend you book them ASAP, because spots are being filled very quickly. And with that being said, I want you to understand, if you book a reading and your reading is, say, a week out or a week and a half out, you have to understand that Spirit preparing you for that reading, okay? Because everything is in divine timing. Everything happens for a reason. And even if it seems like it sucks, whatever you're experiencing, you have to understand you're experiencing it for your highest good. I promise you that. That's how the divine works. And I know that human nature does not understand a lot of it, but it's not meant for you to understand at the time. It's meant for you to get through it and pass that test with an A+, so that your spirit is perfected, so that you can stand in your power, so that you can, you know, discover your divine femininity, and so that you can find your divine masculinity, whether I'm talking to a male or a female. It all goes the same. So with that being said, namaste. That's what I have for you for November, just to give you a little overview as to what November is going to be looking for you like in love. A lot of you are starting to rebuild. A lot of you are starting to really, encompass your spiritual development. And for those of you who feel as though you want to be bumped up a few levels, I recommend that you go ahead and book your private readings, because that's my Vimeo, like I said, on my daily release readings. Okay? So with that being said, Aries, that is your general reading for November, and I will talk to you soon. Namaste.